first starting out, when you're approaching the bar, you want to make sure the bar is center. So go ahead and turn around. A good way to do that, there's always little markers on the bar you can kind of measure with your hands. I like to do pinky kind of right here where the knurling stops. And then I'll go under and make sure it's at the center of my back by just looking in the mirror. There's two ways to place the bar on your back. The first one is kind of like a high bar, which is like right on top of your traps up here. I don't know if you could tell. And then for the people who have more of a developed back, they can kind of have this shelf back here, and if you have good shoulder mobility, you kind of bring your elbows back, and it'll create an even bigger shelf, and the bar will rest there. I think it's preference. Some people prefer high bar, some people prefer low bar. It's just based on how you're built. So go ahead and take a step back. All right, for feet placement, when you step out, I like to go a little wider than shoulder width apart. And then when it comes to like where you're angling your toes, the further out you are, the less you should have to rotate your feet out. The closer in you are, the more you're gonna have to rotate your feet out to compensate. But again, there's no right or wrong way. It just kind of depends on where you're tight and how you're built. As long as you get good depth and you keep your chest up tall, and your knees aren't shaking. Yeah, let's go ahead and go through a few reps, and I could point out what she's doing properly and improperly. So luckily Jay pretty much has like a perfect squat, so you'll be able to see what the perfect squat looks like. So she's keeping in mind the three biggest cues. You're gonna keep your weight on your heels, chest up nice and tall, and she's gonna go for good depth. Notice how she goes below parallel. If there was a marble on her knee, it would go towards her hip. She's got good mobility in her calves. They're not tight, so she's able to lift her foot up a lot at the bottom and keep all the weight on her heels. And she's keeping her chest up nice and tall, not leaning forward, making her spine nice and straight. And then the last cue would be her knees. She's keeping her knees out nice, and they're solid, and they're not shaking on the way up. And yeah, from this angle, you can kind of see the bar path is perfect. It's almost straight up and down. There's no moving back or forward, and that's another good cue to look for. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more content. We're gonna go over probably deadlifts next time, pull-ups, things like that.